Okay, bear in mind I'm filming this before I go to see Final Reckoning, but this is the best one, right? It's not gonna, it can't get better than this. Look, Mission Impossible showed right from the beginning that they could make good spy movies. And then they kind of showed off that they could make good action movies too. And when Ghost Protocol hit, they started to just have fun with the concept, and that helped it level up hugely. This one is everything. This is a great spy film. It's got genuinely just awesome twisty-turny sequences and things like that going on, and divided loyalties. I love it. It's also a fantastic action film. It has Tom Cruise in his mid-50s at this point. Mid to late, like 56, doing just crazy action stunts, breaking his ankle, like, and it's also just so much fun. It's just everything, and it managed to combine the fun of like a Ghost Protocol with the darkness of like Mission Impossible 3, and bring Julia back so that they could have that full circle moment. This really, I enjoyed Dead Reckoning. I'm looking forward to Final Reckoning, but this should have been the end of the franchise. Mission Impossible Fallout stars Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, a man already called the manifestation of destiny, and his legend has only continued to grow since then. What's more, we've got the remnants of their syndicate and a new mysterious shadowy figure as the CIA, IMF, and MI6. They're all working at different angles, and there's a lot of shadiness going on there. Also, Ethan has his team, but Henry Cavill is stuck with him, and Ilsa is around doing her own thing, and it's just the most beautiful, cacophonous mix of something that seems like it's going to explode in the third act like an incredible bomb. Except that the third act is about them making sure bombs don't go off. The film doesn't quite take the traditional Mission Impossible route of having a big set piece in the second act, but it does what it does so well, because it's got a big first act. I mean, Paris in this film. It begins with the base jump sequence, which is insane, which gives you what you want in that sort of like heart-stopping thing. And then they get down, and then they're doing spy stuff, and they're in the bathroom, and the fist fight in the bathroom is some of the most brutal thing I've ever seen. Henry Cavill literally reloading his arms. Insane. I love that whole sequence. It's incredible. And then it keeps on going. They stay in Paris. They do the car chases, hunting down Solomon Lane, trying to get him out. And it's got such a great mix of Ethan dealing with the moral dilemmas that they really started to introduce later in this franchise. It's got him having to go back to the man that he only barely just caught, and he's still got all this trauma around him. He's having nightmares around him, and it's a great action sequence. There's so much going on there that by the time the Paris bit is done, you feel like, wow, that was like a perfect film in its own right, and it was only the first act. And then they actually have a much quieter second act in this film, which was so smart, because I feel like that's probably not what let Rogue Nation down, but what stops it from being quite on the same level as this, is that it has big stuff going on, and then it's got a quieter finish. This does very much the spy thriller stuff in the middle in London, and builds itself towards a huge finale in Kashmir. And that is what I love about this. I think that's just the perfect way around to do it. I think that worked so well, and yet they managed to not make it feel like the film really drastically slows down in the middle, which is always the danger with action movies. But this franchise normally has some giant set piece in the middle, the best part of the film. This instead manages to stay very interesting and have all this stuff going on in London, and have Tom Cruise running across the rooftops, breaking his ankle. I mean, terrifying, but all great, and all for the love of the game of trying to kill yourself when you're clearly some sort of immortal, invincible being. Something I love about this is that they seemed pretty much prepared to leave it here, and I kind of wish they had, because it's such a high to end on. I mean, Ethan and Ilsa are just such relationship goals. Henry Cavill's character was fantastic, and it solved the issue because they were still able to have Solomon Lane, who is like the ultimate villain for this series, practically. Philip Seymour Hoffman was good in number 3. And they also have like the physical threat of Henry Cavill, and that is the perfect blending, having both of them in this at once. That's what made it work so well. You have Cavill for the big finale, but you still have Solomon Lane's threatening, the terror of him just present. So I love all that. And I mean, Solomon Lane is literally such a good villain that they couldn't replace him in the next film with a human being. It had to be an omnipotent AI. This is also the king of callbacks. It looks like they're doing more of that, and they did more of that in Dead Reckoning. It looks like there's more of it in Final Reckoning. But they had Julia coming back from 3, and they had the nuclear fallout kind of like in Ghost Protocols as the big threat, and they had the Syndicate back from number 5, and the helicopter chase seems very reminiscent of 3 as well. Like, there's just so much going on that made this feel like a love letter to the franchise while being the best in the franchise. You can't do that often. It's super impressive. You just can't get away with making an action film this good nowadays. Like, someone will complain about the convolutedness of the plot or whatever, blah, 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 but I don't care. This is cinema, and Tom Cruise has been holding that together pretty much single-handedly for quite a long time now. Also, this managed to just have the perfect runtime. I felt like it managed to feel like an epic action film without over-bloating itself by going too long. Looking at you, Dead Reckoning. I'm giving, maybe Scientology isn't that bad, look at the fucking results, 5 stars. I mean, from what I've heard, it seems like pretty Looney Tunes, but like, if this is what most Scientologists look like in their mid-50s, I might have to reconsider, you know, I'm not just, yeah.